All right, Coach Curt, we're back at it again. Your second year, head coach here. Talk to me a little bit about last year and coming into this year.
Yeah, exciting. What we did last year, despite all those injuries, a lot of individual players had fantastic years. What was important to me was to establish our defensive identity, and we led the league analytically after the All-Star break, #1 analytically. So we're picking up where we left off and see if we can reestablish right away that defensive identity, but fun to infuse a bunch of new people. We have a really competitive training camp. Excited to see how it plays out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and seeing some of the veterans no longer with the team, seeing a lot of the young guys, young girls coming into here, talk to me a little bit about how hard is that, going to be trying to get these girls to kind of play together early on to try to have a successful season here.
Yeah, and chemistry is going to be really important. You see the talent level of Cam Brink and Rikia Jackson already. Mackenzie Forbes is really smart. You can see that established in practice one. So excited. Chemistry doesn't happen overnight. It's going to be a building process. We have a lot of new pieces, but what I do like is our depth. And fortunately, hopefully we can stay injury-free. Even though we've had 2 starters with very significant injuries already this year. It's fun to see how we competed in day one.
We saw in Forbes. What did you see out on her today?
Yeah, Mackenzie's well coached. You can tell she's been in college for 5 years. She's really understands the game. And what I like early on for a young professional, she doesn't seem to get sped up. She plays at a pace that you can be successful at. She knows who she is. So she's going to be in a big battle, and excited to watch her throughout camp.
And Candace Parker announced her retirement earlier today. When I say the name of Candace, what kind of comes to your mind?
So much, what she's meant to our game, what she's meant to our league, but also to me personally. I started in this league in 2015, 10 years ago, and Candace was a mainstay here and helped me get started in this league as an assistant with the Sparks, and what she meant to that era, and was the leader and was the true leader of that team. So I got my start coaching Candace Parker in this league and that tremendous Spark team. So I was very blessed to be able to learn from those guys in my first year. Hello, Sue. Good to see you.
So you have your...
I haven't seen the announcement yet. I can't wait.
Oh, well, she just put it up on Instagram.
On her own page?
On her own
Okay.
page.
Yeah, it's basically kind of an ACES announcement. She hasn't really said much herself.
Okay.
It is kind of a sad day for her. You have Kia Nurses coming back from an injury. You have Azure Stevens, who I'm not sure the status of, and then you have Lexi Thomas, who has apparently Crohn's disease according to her announcement. How are the availability of those 3 key players going to affect your roster decisions?
Yeah, I think recently in our league, you've seen the successful return of players off Achilles. It's actually players that have been coming off of an ACL or knee injuries that have taken a little bit longer. So, excited that Kia Nurse is a year out from coming back from that knee injury, got that year established last year up in Seattle. Expect her to be more like herself. So excited about that. Lexi, really tough year, right? Started off and was so excited about, how she was playing, how we were utilizing her. Just has established herself as a true 2-guard in this league. And then, battled all year long with the illness. Finally was able to get it diagnosed, and she's been outspoken and talk about the Crohn's disease now. She has to manage it. We expect her to be able to bounce back. Obviously, it's a disease that she has to manage, but we expect Lexi to be back to herself and how she started out last year with us. So I'm excited to have her back. Azure, as announced, will be reevaluated in 7 or 8 weeks. Unfortunately, broke her arm over playing in China. And so unfortunate, obviously long injuries for both Julie Alleman and Azure Stevens, 2 projected starters for us. Feel like we've been down this road. Last year, before the season even started, the news of Katie Lou Samuelson and obviously Steph Talbot So, you know, hard news in the offseason to know projected 2 starters going to be out significant time. But Azrae in good spirits, leading from the sidelines right now with us as she attacks her rehab.
And then you guys, such an interesting collection of, returners and newbies to this team. Monique Billings is a great addition from Atlanta, having played so many years and then been this completely reliable backup player for her team. Can you speak to maybe her addition and the addition of some others that you might expect to be helping you guys from either off the bench or from the starting range?
Yeah, Mo, provides us a veteran, certainly one of the bouncy, tremendous athletes in our league. The versatility to play the 4 or the 5, can really impact with offensive rebounding, which was analytically a weakness of ours last year. One of the reasons that we were attracted to her in free agency, to try to get us extra possessions, try to bring some rim protection. So really glad to have her back out in LA. It's going to be a really competitive camp, but nice to have that veteran that way. Again, the big person with us this year that wasn't last year, missed all last year, Stephanie Talbot.
Yeah.
High energy, high motor, quality 3-point shooter, size at the wing, which we didn't have last year. Really excited to have Steph Talbot back in camp. Again, a person that's coming off the knee injury, first true season since the knee injury. So, we're going to be patient and give her grace, but someone that was a high priority last year's free agency. So we had to wait a year, but really, excited to have her back in camp.
Yeah, it seems like a long time ago now.
Yes.
That happened. So, and like you kind of said at the beginning, you don't consider this a rebuilding year. It's more of a pickup when you left off.
Important. The big thing is we're going to have a lot of new pieces with Cam and Rikia and, people fighting for those spots on our roster. So establishing our culture again with this new group, but the foundation is in place with the people that are returning, the Lexis, the Lejas, the De'Aricas, the Azarays. A lot of that culture is created. The theme of we're going to be defense first. We're going to have to do it by committee. We're not going to ride the coattails of 1 or 2 players. We may not have that superstar Olympian on our roster, but I do love our depth. And if we can stay healthy, can we surprise people and be a really tough night in, night out, because maybe our depth is deeper than some teams.
That's a really great way to put it, because if you look at some of the college teams in the NCAA tournament, a lot of the relatively starless teams like that went very far in the tournament.
So we're excited. We know who we are. We're not afraid of our identity, and again, we know we're in the build process and maybe undervalued, underappreciated, but we're going to get to work every day and try to put as good a product as we can on the floor.
That's cool. Well, I saw Bo Copeland sneaked in a little bit. That must have been kind of nice to have him.
Yeah, Chris around.